Hello everyone. Now let's try to solve few questions based on the cyber security topic here. So question number one, right? Which of the following attack attempts to overload a target system with excessive traffic to make it unavailable to legitimate user here? So we need to find out the type of attack here which attempts to overload a target system. What does this mean? It flooded a target system with massive traffic you can see here, right? It means what? It will exhaust the server resources, right? It means what? It will be unavailable for the legitimate user here, right? You can see. Now, which type of attack is this one? So, first option is man in the middle attack, EMI-TM. So, you can expect a question based on the full form of this EMI-TM also, right? So, please do remember what is EMI-TM. It is man in the middle attack. Similarly, in option number 2 also, you have to remember the full form of DDoS, okay? But let's look at the first option here, man in the middle attack. So, what does this mean? So this attack happens when attackers intercept the communication here, right? So it intercepts the communication here, not the heavy traffic here. So option A is not correct. What about option number B? Distributed denial of services. So as name suggests, denial of service here, right? So it means what? The service is unavailable for the users. It means what? The system is flooded with massive traffic, right? So this is what our question says. So option B is correct here. Okay, remember this point. Third option is SQL injection attack. Now SQL injection attack deals with what? Database here, right? So attackers write a malicious SQL query in such a way that it will be always true and they will get all the data from that particular database here, right? That is basically SQL injection attack, right? So it target the database system through malicious query, we can say. So option B, C is also not correct. What about spear phishing here? Now this term deals with what? Social engineering here, you can see. Social engineering attack, okay? And this specifically targets the individual. So targets individual, right? That is what a spear phishing is. What about zero-day exploit here? Zero-day exploit, as name suggests, 0 day, right? So developers get 0 day to fix that particular vulnerability. What we can say? Developers get 0 days. So here, developers gets 0 day to fix that issue, or we can say vulnerability here, right? Now, what does this mean? It means what? The attackers uses the unknown vulnerability here. So attackers uses unknown vulnerability. That's why developers get 0 day to fix that vulnerability. And this is how this 0 day exploit term came. Okay. So you can see vulnerability here. Right. So option D is also not correct. So correct option is option number B here. Distributed denial of service attack here. So please remember all the different types of attack and how it happens, right? So what are the important features, or we can say property of that? That is very important here, right? So for example, man in the middle, based on the name only, we can say it intercepts the communication. Denial of services. So the system is unavailable for the legitimate user here. SQL injection attack deals with the database SQL. Spear phishing deals with what? Social engineering attack. It targets the individual. And 0 day exploit is basically a developer gets 0 day to fix that vulnerability here. So it basically uses the unknown vulnerability here. Right? That is what. Okay. So I hope you understand all the options here. And the correct option is option number B here. So I have added all these things in my notes. So please refer to those notes. That is good enough. Okay. So please go through the detailed notes so you can understand each and every this type of terminologies. Okay. Let's try to solve next question here. Which element of CIA ensures that data is accurate, trustworthy, and protected from unauthorized modification here? Now, CIA, very important topic from cybersecurity. It deals with the fundamental principles. It's the fundamental principles of cybersecurity. Fundamental principles. Okay, so here we have three fundamental principles. That is basically what? CIA. Now, what the CIA stands for? C stands for confidentiality. You can expect a question based on the CI as well. I stand for integrity here, and A stand for what? Availability. A stand for availability, right? Now, if I talk about the confidentiality here, it prevents the unauthorized access. So, confidentiality, you can see it prevents what? Unauthorized access to a system, right? What about availability? Availability, as name suggests, it ensures information and system are available, ensures information and system are available when required. Okay, are available when needed. We can see here that is basically availability. What about the integrity here? Integrity means it ensures that data is accurate. It ensures that data is accurate, trustworthy, and protected from unauthorized modification here. Okay, so you can see the properties of integrity here. So option C is correct here. It protects data from unauthorized modification here, right? So correct option is integrity here. What about authenticity? As name suggests, authenticity, right? It verifies the identity, whether that person is authenticated to use that system or not. So verification of identity is basically what authentication here, right? So here we have something called two-factor authentication. We have multi-factor authentication. So what are those? So please go through the notes. That is very, very important here. Then we have non-repudiation. So what do you mean by this non-repudiation, or we can say repudiation here, right? So it means what? Ensures ensures a sender cannot deny any action, cannot deny any actions here, right? So non-repudiation means it ensures a sender cannot deny any action. In order to access that particular website or software, they have to accept certain things here. That is what a non-repudiation is. Okay. So here, I hope you understand what is CIA, what is authenticity, and what is non-repudiation. And based on the properties of CIA, you can see option C is correct. That is basically integrity. So again, go through my notes. I have discussed the CIA in detail. Okay. Now let's try to solve this particular question, right? Which firewall type inspects packets based on the IP port and protocol but does not track connection states here? Okay, so based on the firewall topic here, right? So I hope everyone is aware about what is firewall. So please go through my notes for the firewall notes. We have discussed all these things. So what about proxy firewall? So proxy firewall means what? It works in, so if you look at the firewall, we have different layers, right? So it works in what application layer here? It works in application layer, you can see, and it does track connection state. It does track connection state. So we can see option A is not correct here because it works in application layer and it does track the connection state. What about the packet filtering firewall here, right? So as name suggests, filtering here, right? It performs, what does this thing do? It performs the stateless filtering here. It performs the stateless filtering, right? Using only headers field, right? So this does not track the connection state here. So packet filtering firewall just filter using any header field but does not track the connection state here, right? So option B is correct here. What about C? Stateful inspection firewall here. What does this mean, stateful inspection firewall? Now, if you look at this one, this maintain sessions, or we can say tracks the session. It maintains session or track the session, maintains session tables. It means what? It does track the connection system. Okay. So option C is not correct. What about next generation firewall here? So here also it tracks the session. Here also it tracks the session here and it performs deep stack inspection. Right. So this means what? It also tracks the connection state. Right. So option D is not correct. What is IDS firewall here? So what is IDS first here? IDS stands for what? Intrusion. Intrusion detection system. Okay. Now what does this intrusion detection system does? It's basically, we can say, a security tool that monitors the network traffic for malicious activity. Right? It also tracks the connection state, right? So it does not perform the stable filtering here. So option E is also not correct here, right? Only option D is correct here. That is packet filtering firewall. Okay. I hope you understand this particular question. What about the next question? In the secure software development life cycle SDLC, again important topic for the exam point of view, you can just go through that. Which phase focus on identifying security requirement and performing the threat modeling? So simple question, based on the options only you can answer here. So we have a development phase, requirement analysis phase here, but we are dealing with what? Security requirement here, right? Now, in the case of development phase, we deals with which type of security here? So it involves, we can say, it involves secure coding practices. Okay. What about the requirement analysis phase? Now, in this particular phase, we defines the security requirement here. We defines the security requirements. Okay, and perform the threat modeling. That is what the correct option is, requirement phase, right? What about deployment phase? No. So this deals with what? It focuses on what? Secure configuration. What about the testing phase here? So it involves security testing. So deals with what? Security testing here, right? Security testing, like we have SAST and DAST here. Okay, DAST here, right? What about the maintenance phase? So it handles the patches and whatever the incidents that is reported or response. It handles the handles patches and incident response, we can say here, right? So option B is correct here. Other options are not correct. Okay. I hope you understand this question. Now let's try to solve next question. Now next question, which tool is primarily used for network discovery and port scanning during the network audits? So let's see option wise here, right? But I hope you understand what is network audit. So please go through my notes. It basically involves the scanning hosts, identifying open ports, detecting services. All those things are part of network audits here. Okay. So, but which tool we use for this particular purpose? The network discovery. Let's see what is Wireshark here. It is used for protocol analysis. It is used for protocol analysis, or we can say for packet sniffing also, for packet sniffing. What about Nessus? So it is used for vulnerability scanning here. It is used for vulnerability scanning, right? What about the Nmap here? Nmap here, right? What is Nmap here? It performs the host discovery. It performs the host discovery as well as a network discovery, we can say, right? It performs the host discovery, a port scanning, network discovery. So this tool is used for network discovery, port scanning during the network audit. Nmap is the correct option here. Okay. So this is the correct option. It is used for network discovery and port scanning during the audit network. Yes. What about the burp suite? Very important terminology. What is this burp suite? For which purpose we use this? It is used for web application security testing. Web application security testing. So kindly remember this particular terminology, burp suite. It is used for web application security testing here. What about the Metasploit? Right? So it is used for what? for penetration testing and exploitation. For penetration testing and exploitation here. Okay. So option C is correct here, NMAP. It is used for network discovery as well as port scanning, right? And service detection here during the network audits. So these are the other tools used for different purposes. So kindly note this stuff. And this also very important verb suit. You can expect the question from these things. Okay. I hope you understand this particular question. So that's it from my side. Thank you.